my entry into the NYX Professional Makeup 2018 Face Awards. The theme is Avant Garde. I hope you enjoy. We're going to start off with the headpiece. So what I've done is rolled out a piece of foil into a sausage shape and wrapped that around my head just to get the size I want. Then I'm going to continue to wrap bits of foil around just so I actually get the thickness that I require, just sort of in a round shape, obviously, duh. And using a cake tin, a Dolly Varden tin, for those who actually know what the hell that is, and I'm just using that as a guide and to help the rings stay in place. And then just the top bit, you're going to be putting that into a ball and then sticking that onto the top. Now we're just going to be wrapping masking tape just really tightly, or as tight as you can, around the rings just to keep them in place. Using a hot glue gun, I'm just going to be putting the glue on one side and stacking the rings on top of each other just so you've got the height that you do require. Using some petroleum jelly, I'm just going to be spreading that on the outside of the headpiece, and that is going to help with the plaster, so the plaster's easier to come off and doesn't stick too much. So you're just going to be cutting the plaster into strips just as long as you want or as short as you want, and dipping that into some cold water. Also dipping your fingers in and going around the plaster just to soak that in and get rid of any bumps or grooves that you do have in it. And my little puppy wanted attention. I'm going to go around this in a few different directions, so horizontal and vertical, just so we can actually get the stability and it makes it a little bit stronger. Alright, so we're going to be making the bees now. Using a poly plastic, which actually melts when it gets to, I believe, 60 degrees. I just put it into boiling water and yeah, basically it melts and you can mold any shape that you wish to do so, as I'm doing here. So I'm just sort of rolling it out and playing with it, and then taking a palette knife, I'm just going to be sculpting the three sections of the bee. So you've got the head section and the middle section, then you've got the tail section, which I've slightly bent. The translucent wings, I've just cut out some plastic just in a wing shape and just dipping that into some glue and popping that onto each side of the bee. Using a hot glue gun and just some sort of bead things that I got from a craft shop, I'm popping them on for their little antennas or feelers, or whatever you call it. Look how cute he is. Alright, so I used an airbrush gun and some blacks and yellow colour to actually make the bee originally, and now I'm just doing the same thing by colouring those little feelers in black. Have it! You have lots of bees. Alright, so on to making the honeycomb part. I am using liquid latex and baby powder and mixing that up to a thick substance. So this is actually the first time I've done this, and I wasn't 100% happy with it, but yeah, I just think I need a little bit more practice. So just also using some extra liquid latex just to sort of soften it out a little bit. Now I found this screw lying around the house. It had like an hexagon shape on it, so I've used that just to indent it into the actual liquid latex. And believe it or not, it actually makes a perfect pattern. See, look. And then just using some of the HD powder from NYX, I'm going over that just to get the stickiness away. And going in with the airbrush again, I'm going to be changing around a couple of colours. So I move from yellows to browns to a sort of black colour, but it's more like a dirt colour than black because it's not as deep. So you just want to sort of go into the little holes just to make them actually look deeper. Now using a cream paint, I'm going to be popping that over the high points of the honeycomb just to make it pop further forward. Also using the powder again, I'm just going to be popping that underneath and just slowly peeling up the actual latex just so it doesn't stick back onto itself. Now I didn't actually film this, but I peeled the foil rings out of the actual plaster and then it came up with this piece, and then I sprayed it in a gold spray and then covered it in a varnish. Then I'm just basically taking a hot glue gun and sticking everything sort of wherever I want to stick it. And I used a gelatin as well, heated that up and used that as honey, which worked out perfect. Okay guys, now to get started on the makeup. I'm going to be doing some skin prep first. So I'm going to be using the Garnier Charcoal Anti-Blackhead Scrub. So it's a 3-in-1, a wash, a scrub and a mask. So I use that just with some water and scrub that into my face and then just taking it off with a wet towel. So to exfoliate my skin, I've used the Anti-Blackhead Charcoal Exfoliating Gel and done the same thing but just in the T-zone, just where I get oily, and taking that off with a wet towel as well. Now for the fun part, I'm going to be using the Pure Charcoal Tissue Mask by Garnier, which I awkwardly put on myself and couldn't figure it out. So yeah, just popped that on to my face and just pushed that into my skin so it adhered, and left that on for 15 minutes. In with a bald cap, I want to make my hair as flat as I possibly can, so I'm taking the Redken Forceful 23 hairspray just to stick down those flyaways that I have. Fiance getting his face in the way. So I popped on a bald cap and blocked out my eyebrows off camera, and getting started with the jumbo pencil in Milk, I'm popping that on as a primer to make my colours appear brighter. Going in with the Avant Pop palette, the yellow, and that's Surreal My Heart I believe, and popping that into the crease and basically going all the way up to my eyebrows. So to deepen that crease, I'm going to be taking the Hot Singles in LOL and Dances the Tide, so it's a burnt orange and a brown colour, as well as the black from the Avant Pop palette, and that's going to deepen that crease area to make the cut crease stand out a lot more. The fluffy brush, we're going to be blending them all together. Now to cut the crease, I'm using the eyeshadow base in white, so it's basically like the jumbo pencil in Milk but a little bit creamier, and it is perfect for cutting a crease and laying a colour on top. To wing out the, eyeliner, I'm using the eyeshadow base in black, so it's the same as the white one but obviously in black. So we're going to be winging that out quite far, and then using that eyeshadow, the black one again, just popping that on top to set it. Like my favorite part ever. So I'm taking the pigment in Go Ham, and yep, I'm going ham with that, and I'm mixing that with a mixing medium and popping that on to my lid, so it gives a very bright metallic sort of gold color. And using the Hot Singles in Liquid Gold, we're also going with that in the middle third I would say, and blending that together with the gold and with the black. Now I went in with the Glam liner in Glam Nude, but I did actually change that to the Vivid Brights liner in Vivid Halo, just to the cut crease area. Matte liquid liner, I'm using that to wing out the inner corner as well as the outer corner. Now onto the face, I'm using the HD foundation in Nude, and look, I'm white, but this is even whiter, so I had to actually mix that with the Total Control drops in Buff, and basically I got it everywhere. So you want to ensure you even put this onto the bald cap as well, so you want to actually blend in that line so you can't see it. Look at that, no more. So for concealer, I've used the Gotcha Covered in Alabaster, so yes, that be the whitest shade they do have, because your girl is white. And basically just using a beauty sponge and popping that into the under eye area, the nose, Cupid's bow, all those sort of good places. So to illuminate my skin, I've used the Bright Ideas Illuminating Stick, and that's in Chardonnay Shimmer, and popping that over the same sort of places that you would pop your highlight. So to set those babies in place, we're going to be using the Highlight and Contour Palette by NYX, and just taking that on a fluffy brush. Also to set the rest of the face, we're taking the No Filter in Alabaster. Again, it's a white shade. Yes. One does to the top, they must do to the bottom. So taking all those same shades, I'm just going to be popping the yellow on the inner corner to brighten it up, and the rest of the colours I'm going to be smoking out on the lower lash line. Dear God, look at that blending face. I'm going to be extending out or extending in the lower lash line just so it also comes to a point. I'm going to be tracing it out with a black eyeshadow, then going in with the black liquid liner. Just taking a brown eyeshadow, just extending it upwards just to sort of give some dimension to where I'm going to be popping some gems. And if you wish to not look like Elmer Fudd like I do, you are going to want to contour. so just in the normal areas of your face. Now I'm taking the HD powder and just baking underneath my contour with that, just to chisel out that line even further. And a lady is not a lady without a bit of highlight. So spritzing my face and popping on the Strobe of Genius palette, just a couple of shades there. Okay, so seriously, my favourite part here, I'm going to be taking my airbrush and I'm going to be putting some yellow paint and a bit mixture of gold in there, and using a hexagon shape, we're just going to be spraying that slightly over the hexagon so it imprints into our skin. For those who have tried to freehand drawing these bloody hexagon shapes, know how painful they are. So seriously, get yourself an airbrush gun and also get yourself a stencil. Life is much easier. Okay, so in saying that, I did actually have to trace around each and every single one of these hexagon shapes, which sort of made them look round as well. But I used the vinyl liquid liner for that. Okay, so you know it's not going to be a look of mine if I don't do just a little bit of shading. I'm just using the primal colour in hot black just to pop on the top sections of the hexagon, just to make them look like they're drawn back just a little bit, and then just went in with the jumbo pencil in milk and popped a little bit in the centre of each of them. Okay, so basically I just went ham on all the diamantes and crystals and little round bally things that I had. Just placed them on with some glue, and then I went in with some gold glitter. So glitter glue first and then gold glitter around those gem areas. I wanted to bring just a little bit more avant garde to this look, so I've just gone in with those same liquid liners and just dotted that around the winged areas, so both the yellow colour and the black colour, just to make my eyes stand out that little bit more. And to bring the dots into it, I've just gone around in certain areas to do that as well. A time to paint my sexy body. Going in with a water activated black paint, I'm just going to be mapping out a triangular shape on my chest and feathering that out. Basically, I feathered it upwards and feathered it down as well, just again to give an avant-garde styled look. Repeating the same process as we did on our face, I'm going to be using a stencil, but just a larger stencil, and the airbrush, and going around. As you can see, this is the most bloody awkward thing I've ever had to do, and my face kind of says it. It says it all. I look constipated. I wanted to bring out those hexagon shapes just a little bit more, so I took some black paint and went around each and every single one of them. As you can see in the middle, I stuffed up a little bit, but that's what we have sequins for. We can put that stuff on there and hide it. For lips, I've used the Liquid Suede in Alien, which is kind of appropriate because I seriously look like an alien here. So just cut up some lashes and put them on the lower lash line just to give a feathery effect. To this lip part, I had so many sequins all over the floor. Holy hell, they were everywhere, and I believe I may have even swallowed a large portion of them. But regardless, all you need to do is just pop them on when the lipstick is still wet, or just use a glitter glue to do so and they will stick fine. And just to be a little bit extra, I'm going in with some gold foil because that screams avant-garde seriously to me. So I pop some over the top lashes on and my headpiece, and I am good to go, and you are done. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. It was amazing fun and very much different to what I normally do. But voting will start on the 2nd of May for 3 days. You can vote 3 times a day per email address. If you think I deserve to make it to the top 15, please vote for me.